started off my career in the brand world, working for Bacardi Global Brands, and loved it, but craved a little bit more of the variety of working on more than one brand at one time. So I switched and went agency side and had an amazing time working on multiple brands, huge campaigns. But I think in agency world, it's quite easy to hit a glass ceiling. And at that point, I started craving learning and understanding more. So I decided to go freelance. And I think I learned more in that next year and a half than I had done in the last 10 years of my career. Throwing myself into multiple different agencies, different roles, having to seriously sink or swim. So it was fascinating. It made me think, actually, you know what? Maybe I could do this. Maybe I could actually start a business. That's where the idea came in. But it wasn't until I made the move to Asia. One of my best friends came out to Singapore. She came home and she was raving about how amazing Singapore was and that the industry was booming. She, I think, wore me down, and about 2 years later, I went to visit. There is a huge optimism here, which you just don't get in the UK and Europe, well, not at the moment. People here are so willing to connect to you. But it wasn't until I made the move to Asia, I moved to Singapore, that I really saw an opportunity. The market here is fantastic and buzzing and had been in the finance sector, but in terms of experiences and events, I felt that it was perhaps 3 to 5 years behind where the UK were or the US was. And so I saw an opportunity. That's how that kind of got started. One of the biggest things I learned, funnily enough, is that despite the fact that I've been working in the marketing and branding and events world for so long, I was really good at spending multi-million budgets in order to get the output, in order to get the event to be brilliant, to get the marketing campaign to be brilliant. And suddenly I'm faced with the fact that I need to make my business brilliant on a next to nothing budget. It was a huge learning. I did a lot of reading, not just the marketing, but psychology and consumer behavior and even neuroscience, which is now a huge passion of mine. By piecing it all together, I worked out what would make people tick and what would create really memorable experiences.